Let's get started. Good evening, everybody. My name is Craig Peterman with BadgerBots, program delivery partner. And today we have the entire Brain Trust here, well, with the exception of Mark, but we've got Jay Church and Allison Conrad, our head referees, and I'm sorry, Brian Hicks is not here. What am I saying? All right, I'm going to call this a Thanksgiving hangover. All right, but we've got Brian Farrell, our head judge advisor, so we got those questions covered. Um, so hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Oh, again, I'm out of rhythm here. Let's go back. As you came into the room, you probably realized that we're recording this session. We do put it up on YouTube a couple days after this meeting, or maybe even within a day. So we do get a lot of views on YouTube, and we treat this as if we would any other meeting, as if we have 80 to 100 coaches on it. Obviously, the benefit of being here live is you can get your questions asked immediately. So we are actually about two-thirds done with the FLL season, if you can believe that. And this upcoming weekend, we have four events, four regionals. And so then after that, we only have one regional left, three sectionals, and then the championship in January. So much like the seasons before us, it's like over in a heartbeat. It's unbelievable all the work that goes into it, and then it seems like it's gone in a couple of days. So anyway, with that, we do have some of our tournament directors for this weekend on the call with us, and going to give them an opportunity to talk about why their event is going to be special, and certainly anything that the coaches need to know as they prepare and come to those events. So, in alphabetical order, we've got Brown County on Saturday, and we've got Nick Kaufman on the call. So, Nick, thanks for doing what you do. And what do the coaches need to know?
So doors will open to the public at 7:30. We will have a kickoff presentation starting at 8 o'clock, and current discussion is that right after that, around 8:15, we'll start with a coaches meeting at the tables, allowing as much time as we can to get them in before practice runs start at 9. We will have pizza, hot dogs, coffee, soda, that stuff available all day long. Should be plenty of stuff to do over there.
Right. And we've got 16 teams in Brown competing at Brown County. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
Nick, is the concessions a fundraiser for anybody?
Yeah, the concessions are a fundraiser for our FRC students for their travel.
You want to sit by me again? I got down to my board.
Got it. I saw Max come in too, just so you guys know. Oh, there he is.
Brian Hicks snuck in too. Hi, Brian. Are there any questions for Nick about the Brown County regional coming up on Saturday? If not, hopefully Nick will be able to stick around for a few minutes if questions come up later. We do have people coming in and out of the meeting, so maybe there will be some later. So let's move on to Madison, which this year is going to be both Saturday and Sunday, two separate tournaments, but nonetheless at the same venue, much like we have at Lakeshore Robotics and at Marquette. So I thought I saw Max. Are you there, Max?
Hi, everyone.
All right. What you got?
Nothing much. You also got an email last week with most of the info. It is at Engineering Hall, UW-Madison. Parking is the Lot 17 ramp, sort of behind Engineering Hall, next to the football stadium. It is free Saturday and Sunday, no metering, no payment for that. 17 teams on Saturday, 18 on Sunday, advancing 6 to Waukesha. I don't think there's much else. We will not be able to have concessions due to university rules. There will be engineering market open, and then also Union South is across the street. They have some market, various restaurants and food options there too. And you can carry in food as well. I don't think, yeah.
Okay, so important, no concessions, but they will have.
There'll be concessions, just not by us. There'll be food for sale, just not by us.
The deli is open there
Yep.
in Engineering Hall?
Yep.
Okay, so
We've been told that.
okay. All right, well, that's good. People need to eat. All right, well, that's
I saw Amy come in too.
any
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
any questions for Max about either Saturday or Sunday regionals at UW-Madison? All right.
There's
Well,
one
again, hopefully
actually.
Max.
Um,
Oh,
Max, the question in chat is parking for a large truck. Michael, you're talking about your truck? He
How
drives a
large?
Yeah, how
Okay.
large?
So it's a large pickup. Is it outdoor
It's
surface?
just it's a ramp. It's the Lot 17 ramp.
So is it
I don't know what the clearances are, unfortunately. There is surface parking that isn't enforced on weekends in the neighborhood, and there are a couple lots near there. If you go to map.wist.edu, it'll show the parking options and when they're enforced.
can you say that map dot what?
Map.wisc.edu. It was in the email that I sent out.
Okay. Yeah, I think he volunteered after that, so he wouldn't have gotten that. But we'll make sure.
Okay.
Michael,
You
we'll see if
throw
we
the
can get
chat?
you clearances there.
Oh yeah, I can throw that in the chat. Absolutely.
He doesn't have like a monster truck, but it is a bigger truck.
Yeah, it should fit in the ramp.
You're 8 feet, Michael. Jeez. I think
That's
your
not
truck is-
big.
No, it's not huge.
talking about the height.
Yep.
All right. Well, our fourth regional this weekend is a new one. We're thrilled to have it in Pewaukee, and I thought I saw Amy on the call somewhere.
Yep.
There she is.
Yep.
Amy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Okay,
Good.
so we are very excited to host a regional this year. We will have concessions, which is supported by our booster club, but 1259 does get benefit of a percentage of all sales for the day. We'll have a quiet room with some fidgets and some crayons and a high school student that loves hanging out with little kids and calming them down in that room with an adult. We have our pit area will be large enough to have families come in and take a look at all the projects and pit stuff, which is exciting. We are not competing with basketball at all on Sunday, so the whole high school is ours. So that was a great email that we got today. Other than that, parking it's all one campus, so we have a huge football parking lot and then parking in front of the high school, next to the high school. I mean, there's ample amount of parking. Obviously, teams can pull up and drop all their stuff off and then park. You just can't park in front of the high school all day. You have to go to a spot. Other than that, right now we're making sure all of our high school students and our high school mentors are trained and understand what their roles are, and make sure that the plan that the team came up with, the high school students came up with, is actually going to work. Which we had one thing that I was like, that's not going to work. We have to move the classrooms. They literally had the judges right next to the quiet room, and we moved them upstairs so they all have their own space away from everyone, with a big TV and a conference room and plenty of space for deliberating and whatnot. So yeah, so if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. The welcome email went out last week. We'll send up a follow-up one here probably Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when schedules are confirmed. Just giving a map of the school and that kind of stuff. But otherwise, we're ready to rock and roll.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, Amy and team. And so just a couple of things that actually Amy had brought up. For those of you that are new to the process, uh, you got the logistics email from each one of the regional tournament directors, but the actual day of schedule will not be coming until Wednesday, possibly Thursday. The schedules go through many iterations, and then there's changes, and then there's teams that have special requests that we try to meet. So we don't want multiple schedules floating around. So we do kind of wait until the very last opportunity, with still giving you some time to plan for the particular day, tell families, so on and so forth. One item that does keep coming up is, are parents, grandparents, visitors allowed to watch? And the answer is unequivocally yes. Both the presentation, the 30-minute session in front of the judges, the presentation, as well as, of course, the robot competition tables, as well as hanging out in the pits to the extent that they want to. So all of the official first events are open to the public. What's different from our region from other regions is that we let coaches, parents, audience members into the presentation room. So we obviously ask everybody to be, one, on time, because once the doors close, they will not be reopened. And two, while you're in the room, obviously be on your best behavior and keep quiet so that the kids are not interrupted or disturbed while they're presenting. That's their time. We want to make sure that they have it to their full advantage. All right. Anything for the tournament directors from our coaches on the call? And if not, if they would like to stick around, that'd be great. Maybe some questions come later. If not, then good luck this coming weekend. All right, let's move on to our judge advisors. Anything from Brian and Brian?
Nothing major from my side. Just a reminder that kids do the work. It's obviously been the case the whole season, but especially at tournaments, and the stress and tension of getting things, pressures of the tournament, make sure and keep that in mind. And, even from a perception of things, coaches on laptops is definitely frowned upon.
How about from Brian, Mr. Hicks?
I think Brian covered it.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the robot game and our head referees. What do you guys got?
Just step back a half a second. Thanks for posting that, Max. Because he posted something in chat and people can't hear it, so I'll just read it out. The clearance for that parking garage is claimed at 8'2". So if anybody's watching the video, you can't see our chat. They're saying 8'2", but it's just that one side there, Michael. So be careful which entrance you take. Okay. So for me, I did just check challenge updates. There's nothing there, which I don't expect there will be anything else. We're pretty far into it. I just want to remind the teams, we're still, even as of last tournaments, the silo, we're still having a lot of questions about the silo. We have teams that get together in scrimmages and in practices together, and somewhere along the way, they have information that if your robot attempts the silo, even if you don't activate it, if you attempt it and just touch the model, you get points. That is 100% not the case. We have actually not had a terrible time with the silos, believe it or not. It's been a lot better than we expected. It is not a decoration piece. It is a model. So it doesn't fall under the last update about a decoration. We do expect your robot to actually go out, activate the lever, and eject the artifacts. We do know what it looks like when the model's broken. So if it's broken and you're activating it to the point that we think it should be activating, then there will be an exception for mission model damage, but it's been holding up pretty well. So do expect to have to complete that mission. And I'll just also throw it in there. Just we've had a lot. Allison knows where I'm going. There's been a crazy amount of kids at the tables using bad language. I'll tell you guys pretty much, if you guys are cursing at the tables, if your kids are cursing at the tables, you will get a 2. I don't have a lot of leniency for that at all. If I see your kids getting overly worked up, I will sometimes tell them, hey, calm down a little bit, just relax a little bit. Everything's good. But yeah, definitely if they're cursing at each other, they're going to be getting 2s on their core values. So. Anything else with that, Allison?
Yeah, so I have 2 things that I remembered from my turkey days. So red and blue technicians. We've had a lot of questions this year about technicians on their sides of the board and crossing over mid-match. Please be advised that if your team is of 4 or more students, you must have 2 students in red and 2 students in blue at all times. They may switch freely with students on their respective sides of the board. They cannot cross red to blue. So unfortunately, if a student is needed to launch a mission both on red and from the blue launch areas, they are stuck to one or the other for the entirety of the match. That also means that if you have a team of 4 or more students, you must have 4 at the board. I had a coach ask if they could only have 1 each at one in either home at the board last weekend due to a knowledge gap within the team. Unfortunately, you need to have 4 students at the board at all times, so please be advised. I've been having to explain that one a lot. The only other thing, so we have had a couple of instances this year of overcoaching at the boards, coaches yelling at their students when to run missions, when to stop running missions. Please don't. To say it short and quick, please don't. If you need to get information to your students at the board, you are more than welcome to tell one of your students who is not actively at the table to tell their teammates or give them advice or to work together. But I do
There's
not
also
want...
hamburgers in here.
That sounds delicious.
I'll have a hamburger as well, please.
But yeah, please be advised, if you are at the board as an adult, any adults associated with the team, please do not be yelling at your students mid-match. Let the kids do the work. I think that's all I had from this past, past weekend, 2 past weekends.
So the team is required, by the way, if they're at the tournament, they are required to have their teammates at the competition table. Same thing with judging. If the teammate is absent or not there, obviously that's the exception. But if they are on premises, they must be at the competition table and they must be in judging. Correct, Brian?
Correct.
Okay.
It's in the participation rules.
Yep. So that's all I have. Any questions for anyone about anything? Can a robot launch jig extend? Okay. Can a robot launch jig extend into the home area next to the launch area? Okay. Yeah, I understand your question. So he's asking, can a robot jig extend into the home area beside the launch area? The answer is yes. As long as it's completely within the 2x4, the inner walls of the 2x4, and they can actually hold the jig down to stop it from moving. Okay. So anything that the robot is intending to move when they launch, they can't hold. But the jig, they can actually hold it with their hand.
Actual wording that Jay was referring to is this here for the team members. All team members attending an event must participate in the judging session and be present at the robot game matches.
Oh, I guess, I did see one other question come up in a different forum, but I will cover it since we're pretty quick here. So when you guys are separating out to red and blue, we want the kids to be separated after inspection, or they can inspect. They don't have to be separated to red and blue yet. We don't need you guys to be separated to red and blue sides until you're getting ready to launch. So after you're inspected and you can definitely have your red team members helping distribute equipment to the blue side. There's actually a very specific point in the rule book that tells you when they need to be separated, and that's right before the launch time. So it is not true that once they come to the table, red and blue have to be separated before inspection. That is not the case. So we need them separated before launch, but they can absolutely help each other get set up in their red and blue areas.
Okay, another question came in.
What type of
What types of activities do the students do between matches?
That's a good
Do they
question.
bring activity books, games, electronics? We are participating in Madison Day 2.
Any coach on the call want to give some advice with that? What to have the kids do? Unless you guys have anything specific at the venues for people to be doing.
So we always, for our Pewaukee teams, we always ask the students to bring card games with them or a book to read, but we always, in our case, we do not allow any video games or electronics, unless it is a student that needs it to be able to communicate. So that we don't have, I don't like seeing kids on video games playing on their phones when they could be communicating with their teammates or other teams. Another cool thing for teams to do in between is go talk to other teams and ask questions about the project, kind of get a little bit of feel of what their process was, because you can always learn from them. And look at their boards and look at the things they're using for planning, like Kanban boards and stuff like that, because you can gain great knowledge from interacting with other teams, and the students get stuff out of it when they actually go and talk to the humans.
Thank you.
So keep in mind the schedule is put together with a lot of time in between your team specific activities. So you're going to have a practice match, which is on the competition tables. You're going to have a 30-minute presentation, and you're going to have 3 official robot runs. And so the idea behind the schedule is to give your team an opportunity to iterate, improve, experiment, do something with that time in between, should they want to do so. Every team will have to, deal with that time themselves. But thank you, Amy, for bringing up, various ideas how teams can stay entertained.
Hey Max, are you guys using the ticket system for your practice fields? If so, can you?
PBD. I haven't got that far yet.
Okay, never mind.
I will say that at the venue, we were hoping to have some demos from the engineering department.
Okay.
Beyond that, other than the quiet room, which is only for people that actually need space, we don't really have any other activities planned. I will say personally, watch other teams' matches. You can cheer them on, and interact with other teams is a big one.
Yep, Nick, I will get to your question in 1 second. So, venues that do have a quiet room, just be advised that the quiet room is in fact a quiet room and not for a team practice room. They will not be allowed to do their presentation practicing in the quiet room. And Brian, do you see Nick's comment there?
Yeah, so Nick made a comment maybe worth discussing neurodivergent students in the judging room. Yes, they're still expected to be in there, but so yeah, we realize that there's a fair percentage of neurodivergent kids that tend to end up in doing robotics, and we do let make sure the judges realize that as well. With that said, if you do have some concerns with your students, feel free to let the tournament directors know. They can let the judge advisors know, and we can communicate that to the teams. But we do advise the judges, that's, normally if you think about presentations and stuff, you want eye contact and all those things. We let them know that it's not as big of a deal. we understand that some of the kids struggle with that, and that's okay. But yeah, they're told to roll with a lot of stuff happening in the room. But the advice too is look for ways to help your students prepare as well. Whether it's having some questions that they're queued up and know how to answer well and be ready to answer and have the confidence. But if you have extreme cases like kids that have to go sit down and wander around or whatever, let us know. We'll try to pass that on to the judges. But if you don't, we'll work through it.
I guess
Brian, anything to add to that?
Just that, if there are situations that you may need to, have an adult or somebody leave with somebody out of the room, we do talk to the judges to kind of keep the rest of the team going, keep asking questions to keep them focused on their presentation.
And Nick, I think I cut you off. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please. No, I was just going to say, please let the tournament directors know we don't need to know the student's name, but at least what team they're on so that we can be aware of that and make sure the judges are aware.
I guess my comment to it is don't be afraid to allow them to try. You'll be amazed what some of those kids will come out and do, and it might take a year or two with them in the program, but it's amazing what they will grow into.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They should be up there and do try.
And so we can accommodate a lot at the robot table as well. So the one thing that concerns us more than anything else when it comes to stuff like this, if you have a team member that may be acting in a way that we may not know that there's an issue, we don't want to give them a 2 on their core values. So do let us know. Again, we don't have to know the names or anything either, but maybe after the coaches meeting, just sneak over and say, hey, I have a kid, might have an issue doing this or that, and we can accommodate many things. So,
or you can get it through the tournament directors, and they can pass it on as well.
Yep, we'll get you.
Yep. I guess with that said, some things coaches can do to prep their students for, probably judging more in particular because the length of time is, get them to make sure they're hydrated, but also get them to the bathroom. Standing there for half an hour gets pretty long. Remind them not to stand up there and lock their legs, stuff like that. Concerns we have and we see with some frequency is kids passing out or fainting. Kids throwing up, things like that. Sometimes the rooms are pretty warm. The judges are told to keep an eye on it if they notice kids starting to get that way to take action, to have them sit down or do something.
We had a kid pass out at an event at the competition tables a couple years back. If your kids are not feeling well, they can just sit down in the middle of the match. We'll do what we got to do. We'll rerun a match. It's fine. We'll take care of it. The match doesn't mean anything. And this kid was super upset because he let his team down. And we're like, no, you're gonna, you just sit down. We'll rerun a match. We'll give you a wild card. We'll do whatever. So if they need something like that, just we'll take care of them.
We make a point of having water bottles in all the judging rooms. I don't know if all events do that. And we check them throughout the day in case they get used. Yeah, because if somebody passes out, that's not good.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Going once, twice. All right. Well, good luck to all the teams and coaches, the teams that are participating this coming weekend. It's a big weekend, 4 events. So we're one big step closer to the championship. Thank you everybody for participating and certainly for all you do for your teams. And thank you to the tournament directors for showing up on the call this evening and certainly for putting on the events that they do. Obviously, this program doesn't happen without that effort. So good night, everybody, and good luck this weekend.
Yep. Thank you guys. See ya.